Just dropped off my car at the Tesla service center to get some things done, and they put us in a P100D. Somebody's gonna be spoiled for the afternoon. So it's kind of dark. Welcome to the channel. So last week I took my car to get some issues resolved at the service center. So when I first got my car, I had a couple of detailed issues with my car, and I wanted them fixed. You're spending a lot of money on a nice car, and you expect to have good quality throughout on that car. Now, unlike most of the early Tesla Model 3s, I wasn't plagued by all these factory defects. There was not really that many problems at all. When I got my car, it's always bugged me that the driver's side of the hood near the front bumper was lifted up above the line of the bumper, and it didn't look quite symmetric as well in the middle of the car, the entire front trunk. And so I wanted that fixed. Now, I did try adjusting it just with the rubber pads to get it to level out, and I couldn't get it to actually get leveled out. And then I didn't really want to unattach the front. I could easily do that, but personally I didn't want to do that. I spent a lot of money on this car, and I don't want to, risk scratching the paint with a wrench, or even though I know how to do that, I just don't want to even deal with it. I don't want to do it. I spent a lot of money on the car, so I wanted Tesla to do it, and I knew they would do it. I did look it up. People have had this issue a lot, and Tesla will fix it for free. And then the other thing I had an issue with is the steering wheel. When you grip the steering wheel near the 2 o'clock position, there's a little bit of a bulge where the two parts of the steering wheel come together. And you can feel it with your finger. And so my concern is you don't really see it. It's not noticeable. You can feel it, and it's not a perfectly smooth transition between the two sections of the wheel where the fabric is, the vegan fabric. And so my concern there is, over time, that bulge is loose skin that's going to be prone to tearing, wearing quicker, creasing, which is going to cause it to maybe crack over time. And then I'm going to end up with this big hole in my steering wheel, and it's going to be after warranty. So I wanted them to, because I see that is it. I wanted to at least document that I had the issue when I got the car, so it's in the service books, right? The next one was the rear seat. The rear seat had a crease right where the seat belt was, almost, where they pulled the fabric over, and they just left a crease when they threaded it down. So I sent a picture of that as well. I did all this through the service app, or through the Tesla app. And once you do the service through the app, they start texting you to communicate what your issues are. You then send some pictures, and they tell you whether it is acceptable or not. So out of all this stuff, the front hood they said they would fix. The back seat they said they would replace. They said the steering wheel was within Tesla specifications, which I disagree with. And if that's Tesla specifications, then I think your specifications are kind of crap. Sorry, but I do. As somebody, like I said, as somebody that was trained in how to do auto body, and you look at a premium car in the $40,000, really my car's $50,000 range, you're not going to have lines like this. My wife's $30,000 CX-5 steering wheel is in much more of a luxury category, I would say. It doesn't have any type of bulges. It's smooth, and it's very nice. It's one of the best steering wheels, honestly, because that steering wheel comes out of the Mercedes. Now, and then once you do get there, you just pull your car up to the white line at the gate, and it automatically opens for you once you're open. You pull your car in, the service guy's sitting at the computer, kind of like anywhere, and you go up to them, you give them your name, and they know all your appointment details right there on the computer, because you've already done everything through the app. And I asked them that I still wanted them to look at the steering wheel and just look at it in person, because I thought the pictures couldn't do it justice. And I wanted them to also check my battery, because I got 6,000 miles on my car, almost 7,000 miles now. And I've only, since about 1,000 miles, I only get 299, 300 miles of range, and it's still going downward. I'm starting to think that that's a problem, at least. And I charge between 20 to 80%. And I don't drive it that fast on a regular basis, so I'm not real sure. I get 294 watt hours per mile. So let me know in the comments if that sounds right to you.
Arrived at your destination.
You need a little bit bigger, so it's kind of hard to easy to miss.
So we're up in Charlotte today, and we dropped my car off, my Model 3, at the Tesla Service Center to get the back seat replaced for a crease that was in there when I got the car. Also aligned the front hood. There was some body panels and the hood wasn't aligned very well. They're going to do that. I think they're doing all that for free. They're also going to check my battery life and some other things that I asked them just to look at. But the cool thing, when we dropped off the car first thing this morning, they gave me a loaner car. And it's a P100D. Man, I don't want to, it's going to make my car feel slow. I don't know. So it's really fast. So they gave me a P100D, and it's pretty fast. It's got about 35,000 miles on it as a loaner car, while my car's in the shop. But it is very fast. It has a worn out front trunk latch, and it also has the shocks on the rear trunk. Must be bad, because when you open it up, you have to hold it up by hand. It doesn't stay up. That seems like an issue with 35,000 miles. But overall, it's very fast. If you look on the inside here,
Yeah, it's real. This car is real nice. I was trying to figure out how to. Oh, here's how you.
it's got a sunroof, an actual sunroof, which my car just has the glass roof.
75% or halfway, or you just need it leave. Jeremy, how do you get?
So as you can see here, this is the front. It's got the big screen there. It's got the screen up front, which I really like because it puts the navigation over here when you're doing navigation. Okay, so we got the car, we picked up the car, dropped off the Model S, and we're actually going to go grab some food. First impressions of the front hood is I'm still not happy with it. It's above the fender and above the front bumper where it meets, and that's not the way it's supposed to be. It should be nice and flush with the front bumper and the two side fenders to give you that nice plush look, and that's not what I have, and it's going to mess up the aerodynamics. It can mess up the range. I don't know how much so, but it can. So that was the main issue. It did replace the back seat. I got a text from them saying it was completed. Drove back, picked up the car, or dropped off the Model S. in my Tesla app, I actually had an invoice, and it gave all the comments of what they did and how much everything cost, which was free for me. And then when we got back to the service center, basically they grabbed me my key card. I turned in the key fob for the Model S, and that was it. It was that simple. So as far as the experience and the process, it's pretty simple once you know what you're doing. Coming from a legacy car, you are typically, if you're at one of the big automotive companies, you're going to pull into a service center, somebody's going to greet you and you're going to talk to them and things like that. They're going to go through all the things that they did through on the car, on a piece of paper with you typically. If you go with a nicer vehicle, like an Infiniti, for example, you're going to actually go in, you're going to talk to somebody possibly in like a glass office in the service center. Turn your car in, they're going to give you a loaner, you're going to get your car back, it'll be washed and tire shined, vacuumed out, and they will, you'll have a little paper on the bottom of your floor bed and everything so they don't mess up your car. And when you come back to pick up your car at a nicer place like that, they're going to, go through everything they did, all the recommendations. I will say that I did not get any of that with this experience. It was pretty much everything automated. You dropped your car off, they made sure who you were, they gave you a key fob, you drove off, everything's through text message, you find out through text your car's done, then you drive back and you basically just swap keys and you're all done. And she did kind of mention what they did to the car, which was basically just reading what the invoice on my Tesla app told me already. So I wouldn't give it a great rating, but I wouldn't give it a bad rating. It's much simpler and better than going to a Toyota service center or a Mazda service center, but it still was not as good as that Infiniti type experience that I experienced when I owned an Infiniti. So maybe that's just the difference between some car manufacturers and their service centers. You got any questions or anything, leave a comment in the bottom. Also like and subscribe, it helps out a lot. Hit the little ring notification button for when I drop new videos once a week. Thanks again, see ya.